Testing one, two, testing one, two. Testing one, two, testing one, two. Let me see. I know I have a problem with these lives of tech savvy kind of stuff, but trying to see if I'm live now. Okay. All right. All right, I'm gonna let some people get in here. If you want to watch the real information, I came on here. I'm still gonna get to some more information. Okay, but I did a live right before this, and I had a call I had to take. We were lasted 20 minutes, but you know, I'm still going to continue talking a little bit, and I hope that person comes in from Springfield, Missouri, back in here because I really want to prove to y'all that I know what I'm talking about Springfield, Missouri, and this incident really happened. I can describe stuff that odd and end stuff that from the Greyhound bus station and left and right direction, stuff that people wouldn't even remember, but I remember it because it's my trauma. 2015, when they were testing the J2 system. Now they had everybody thinking there was going to be a big martial law thing in 2015. Um, and it was AI mastering the human domain where they were testing out AI weapons and mind control weapons and stuff out on dissidents to see if a martial law event took place, if they could handle the distance. And they just choose homeless people, and different people to target. But that's not why I'm here. If you go to my previous live, is there anybody in here that was in my previous live, like 20 minutes ago? If not, that's a firecracker and you want to hear it. I will try to, if there's anybody in here from that, please, okay, I can tell there is a few. Okay, but I had to rant. I don't like attacking people, and I wasn't attacking nobody. I was sticking up for Duncan, who was dead, well, wherever he is. I think he may have faked his death to get out of the scene, whatever the case may be. And I know Duncan was an asshole sometimes, and Duncan did invent some of this tech and it hurt people. But you got to be open-minded to learn. You got to be open-minded. So if I say, if somebody's got a lot of good knowledge and not and telling me how stuff it works, and I think, well, this person don't believe in God, or so I'm not going to listen to what this person says about his knowledge on technology, even though he is an expert and helped create it. I'm not going to listen because if I'm biased like that and unteachable, then I'm going to cut myself up from a lot of stuff I could learn. And people want to say that Duncan there's no proof he worked for the CIA or DARPA or, man, government contractors' names are not available on the internet. If you're a real government contractor working on top secret projects, your name and your profile and your job history will not be available on the internet. So you can search up and down and then you can say whatever about the person because you think a CIA agent, ex-DARPA agent is going to have their info and all that, and even CIA.gov will tell you that some files of certain people are left out. So you can't base, well, Duncan's an agent because he can't be found in that files. Um, so anyway, it just really pissed me off. And if you want to know what I'm referring to, it's really I could go over it again, but just watch my previous live this morning. It's very informative about Duncan. And basically what it was is this guy put. Let me go into it just real quick, just to give a recap. But if you wanted the real deal, and I'm not saying this to get views, I'm saying this because I'm kind of upset that the phone call happened because part one of this live was the most important part. That's where I was really feeling it and really expressing myself about what's going on. But this dude posted this big meme that said Havana Syndrome PSYOP exposed, honeypot distraction controlled opposition, Dr. Robert Duncan, the PSYOP. Duncan was the distraction. Jesse Beltran just proved the truth. Get scanned now. And it basically goes into this detail saying um, the real hero ripping the mask off is Jesse Beltran. So you wait till the guy is dead because you damn sure wasn't confronting him when he was alive. And I also broke down on how Project Soul Catcher 1 was never published. because Duncan got threatened with the Espionage Act if he ever released it. So how clever Duncan was, and I don't agree with Duncan, some of the stuff Duncan said about the betterment of this technology and stuff, but that don't mean he didn't do good stuff. Hell, he helped me understand what the hell was going on. And he did talk about microchips, and dude tried to say, well, he didn't talk about microchips or nano dust. And I proved in that other video before, I played proof that he did talk about nanochips. So this dude don't know what the hell he's talking about. So I'm going to get off this subject, but I want to say one more thing. Project. So here's how clever he was. So he made a book, Project Soul Catcher Volume 2. Go look it up. It's not nonfiction. They wouldn't let him make it nonfiction. He was, or either that, or he was smart enough not to make it try to make it nonfiction because they knew it wouldn't let it fly. But I think he tried. If I'm not mistaken, and I was in a Zoom call. I don't want to quote this, but if I'm not mistaken, somebody asked him that question, and he said they told him um, the same thing about something about he could get in trouble. So he was trying to warn us. Go look up what label it's in. It's in Sci-Fi and Fantasy, Project Soul Catcher Part 2. But if he was controlled opposition, wouldn't they let him write that as a nonfiction book to throw everybody off with this false information? Um, just please go listen to part one of my live before this. It's still processing. Surely it'll be found because I break it down everything you want to know about the Duncan thing and how I proved that what this guy said about Duncan is totally false. And the only reason I brought this up and attacked this situation like I did was because he was brave enough. I mean, this post got 83 likes, 53 reposts, and this guy does not know what the hell he's talking about. Okay? Anybody what they're not going to tell you is anybody on this earth that gets scanned is going to light up. Now, everybody's not targeted or activated, and you can think that's wrong or not. They're getting ready to connect their. Well, everybody is connected, but um, everybody like it's kind of like Sabrina Wallace talks about, and I know she don't give no hope or no answers. That's the only thing I hate about her. But she talks about the biofield and how it's been around since '95, and how everybody's um, biofield, is given all. So I'm just saying, everybody is going to light up on a nonlinear junction scan. Facts. He's not going to tell you that. And just because you light up don't mean you've been activated or targeted yet. There's people probably going to light up, and the bad thing about that is, if they haven't been activated because they got biodigital convergence coming out. Not everybody's getting burnt with weapons here in B2K. That's what my definition of a target. Your life is just go to the first, and I describe all this. I don't want to really repeat it, but um, so what I'm saying is everybody. I'm not saying don't get scanned because hell, if I could afford it, I would just to show some family members of mine. Well, look, I got this in me, um, but I would tell them you do too, and so does everybody. But there's a big difference in being a target individual and lighting up on a nonlinear junction scan. This is 2026 we're in. They're fixing to try to connect people, which they've been doing behind the scenes, which is why everybody's lighting up. Chemtrails have made that possible. Food has made that possible. Uh, the thing I can't talk about on here has made that possible over the years. Um, you know, so it's not necessarily microchips, I wouldn't say, even though there are people confirmed with chips and they're test subjects, they're experiments. Um, However, neural dust and smart dust is what I'm talking about. And let me get to these comments. I'm sorry, I've been so upset after because I've been trying to argue with this guy, not argue, but I tried to prove my point to this guy and get him to take that down about Robert Duncan, just for the simple fact that's a brave. You're dishonoring, uh, and I'm not putting him on a pedestal, Robert Duncan on a pedestal, but his books, I can relate to a lot of stuff in his books, and I know a lot of it's factual. And if he was he was very careful about some stuff he said. You could tell he was scared in some of his presentations, especially. And if you'd like me to share one of those presentations, I'll be glad to. I can put it in the comments right now. But the fact of the matter, the dude tried to act like Duncan never talked about microchips or neural dust and was trying to hide some secret. Duncan talked about it. Here you go. You want to hear it? The MIT created genetically blue light mice. Well, we've been splicing diplomatic, magnetic, or magnetic. I'm gonna get to the comments in just 1 second, y'all, and I appreciate y'all joining the live. And I don't like ranting about people, or and it just upsets me, man, that people want to use the dead to promote somebody to do scans, and it's just messed up that he's gonna make a meme like that saying Duncan was a honeypot controlled opposition, and you know I really don't think he was. And if he was, why didn't Project Soul Catcher 1 get published? Why did Project Soul Catcher 2 have to be published as a nonfiction, as a fantasy book, sci-fi fantasy book? If I'm running a controlled opposition agent, I'm gonna I'm gonna make sure that that book's nonfiction because this guy's claiming he put out false info. Okay, well, I mean, and then, oh, you can't find him in the CIA files. You can't find him as a government contractor. Well, any real government contractor, look it up on their information is not made public. That and some of them are kept even after they die, et cetera, are kept secret for their whole life. They don't put people's profiles who are contractors on the internet. Then people could lone nutters could go do whatever they wanted to them. So if you're not finding that, that's why. I mean, I'm just debunking all these accusations. Um, I didn't say Duncan did die, but they said Duncan died. I think Duncan faked his death because Duncan needed to get out of the crowd because target individuals was he was getting invited to seminars. He's spending his time messaging back and forth with target individuals, and he was swarmed with questions and stuff constantly, and he wanted out of the limelight. Either that, or he knew he was going to be. I don't know what the other thing. I've seen people said that's confirmed. Friends of his confirmed his death. I don't know what to do. What to believe. I think he was getting swarmed by so many questions and so many people in the TI community, and he was just trying to get some peace. I don't know, and he may have faked it. We'll never know. Either way, uh, people can say Duncan gave false information all they wanted. I don't care what they say. But what made me upset is they're using Duncan in this meme, and man, I'm going to show you the meme. Hold on, I'm going to show it. Hold on. Signal and modulating them. I'm going to not talk about just yet. I got to see if I have time. The audio cortex hacking and subscripted signal audio free and independent or the of the various technologies we can use to hack the human brain. There has many of those particles in them. You can amplify it that way, which makes them more receptible to an electromagnetic or gested. Very, and these are just really small microchips that help amplify neural signals and protein conformational changes. Okay, so if you listen to what I've been saying nanotech is not needed, neither are chips. However, they're being used to amplify the effects, make the effects more accurate, and for training, research, and development. Further training, research, and development. But if they really wanted to, they could target and track you without nothing. Okay, look. You can unlock even DNA strands using certain radio frequencies, and those could include cancer-causing ones. You can. Hold on. Such as sodium and potassium and calcium. Let me just move on quickly so I can get through this presentation. The MIT created genetically blue light mice. Well, we've been splicing genes for a long time. It's neural dust, which he said neural dust. So this dude was arguing, and the reason I'm putting it out here It's because the guy stonewalled me when I started providing my information on how Project Soulcatcher won, Espionage Act he got threatened with. And when I started providing that, I got stonewalled and my post did my responses didn't get seen, and he made sure of that so he could look like he won the argument. So I just want my viewers on my channel to not be deceived and look, know what I think about it. Anyway, listen. So here he is.
It's so small you can inhale it. It can be ingested. Uh, very, and these are just really small microchips that help amplify neural signals in various ways. And then magneto nanoparticles. And again, this.
So all I'm just saying is, um, don't believe everything you see on the internet. I mean, and it just made me upset that he was using Duncan to promote Beltran as some savior. And I'm not on here to down Beltran. You can come up with your own opinion. I will say everybody in this world will light up under a scan, and it don't mean you're a targeted individual. If depending on your definition of a target individual, it just means that we're going towards a future. You know, they've been experimenting on people behind the scenes, and everybody's been connected and communicating with frequencies. So it's a big deal. So what? I can buy a scan, go scan people for money, and show that this is real. Sure, he's done that. I'll give him that credit. But just because everybody's showing up, don't mean everybody's targeted. A target individual has a horrible life. They have no friends. They have no family. Well, I can't say friends and family because um, it just depends on the situation. Some people's family will believe there's rare cases, but most of the time the psyops run on the target individual. With the what's the word I'm looking for? And I'm gonna get to the comments. Uh, Influence mapping, negative association conditioning techniques used to turn targets, and then you put through so much psyop. You either run your family off by talking about it, trying to get them to believe it. They think you're crazy and they push you away. Sometimes family is involved though, and in some cases they are. But what I'm saying is, usually the first stage of a target individual's life ends up they run the psyops. The target individual makes all these bad decisions and destroys his own life. Then the plausible deniability leaves no evidence or nothing like that. And then if the target survives that stage and still has friends and family or still is showing strong, they'll start these weapons and all that. That's my definition of a target individual. So just because you're lighting up on something that's been sprayed around the whole world, don't mean you've been activated, you've been tortured, they're smearing your name, or none of that. And I hope everybody would agree with me on that. Yes. And JDO made a good point. Everyone will light up. We all have a biofield. So so if you're going to get scanned to show this is real, and I guess time will tell. I hope I'm wrong about the whole situation, and something will be done, and this will get shut down. But I don't think they poured all this money into research since 1995 and attacking people and being in their bodies, logging in and out, just to turn down the program or shut it down. So what I'm going to do is instead of waiting on false hope, there's a good thing called hold on. I read about it. It was a phenomenon in Nazi Germany back in the day. And I can't think. It was something of hope. It was a term called something of hope. It's where even though these people were in these camps and stuff, and I know somebody may dispute and say there was, but anyway, anybody know what it was called in here? And I'm gonna get to the comments. Something of hope. I talked about it one time and I can't even think about it. So anyway, these people actually thought they were escaping, even though there was no escape from the camps. And the reality of it was they were going to get picked up soon and get killed or whatever. Um, Man, I can't think about it. So anyway, let's see. Man, I can't think of it. Hopefully I'll think. I'm gonna get to the comments now. I can't think of it. It was the term that was used, something about hope. Hey, Servant Sue. Morning, on average Joe. Hope you're doing good. And yeah, we're trying to stay strong. Uh, Julian Assange talked about smart dust 10 years ago. Yep. But what I'm saying, hey, DMC, what I'm saying is this guy is trying to say like Robert Duncan never mentioned smart dust. Robert Duncan was hiding smart dust from everybody, and now he's putting, you know, this guy out as the savior and all that. And if you want to hear the real rant and me break it all down, I've done it on the live before this. Some of y'all were there. Uh, um, what did Duncan die from? I don't know if he died or not. Some say he did, some say he didn't. Some of his friends confirmed it. Some say that he didn't know. I think maybe he thought he wanted to get out of the limelight. He was getting too popular because more and more target individuals. I was a friend with him on these platforms. Facebook friend, ex friend, and all these people were bombarding him every day. And I know how that is. I get hundreds of messages on Messenger. Um, emails and all that, and I try to get to every one of them, and it's overwhelming. So sometimes I have to just back up and just give it a break, and then, so if I haven't got to you yet in your email, I will get to your email. But I can understand. That's why I understand what he might have, one reason he might have exited. Because when you're trying to answer everybody, and then you got people getting mad when you don't answer, and then making false narratives when you don't answer about you because they feel that you're ignoring them when really you're not. You just got life going on and you're trying to take care of your responsibilities around the home. And then Duncan probably got bombarded with thousands of messages, and he, Duncan could be very, very condescending, an asshole sometimes. I guess we all can. Uh, I don't agree with everything Duncan done, but Duncan did put a lot of good information out, stuff he was able to. So I guess Duncan uh, is wherever he is and not able to defend himself. And I'll be damned if somebody puts him down in a meme, calls him controlled opposition honeypot, and then turns around and puts somebody on a pedestal and says this person's a hero. That's not fair to Duncan because Duncan's not around to defend himself. So JDO said Duncan didn't die, he just wanted out. I believe the same thing. Uh, He definitely was involved in those technologies in some capacity. Just read his books. Yes. And why would you send a controlled opposition uh uh agent in the community and make him make his books fantasy? I mean, look up Project Soul Catcher 1. He had to label it fantasy to get it. I mean, part 2, he had to label it fantasy to get it published. Everyone will light up. We all have a biofilm. That's very important to know. So, facts. And I think I was talking about that at the time. We are way too much of investment for them to kill this. And average Joe said that would wipe out the grid too. DMC Lines wants me to show the Duncan meme, so give me 1 second. I don't mind showing it, even though it makes me want to throw up that somebody. I don't know. You know, I think, in my opinion, if I was Jesse, I would tell the dude to take it down because Jesse supported Duncan. I got proof. I can show plenty of videos where Jesse promoted Duncan, talked good about Duncan, talked highly about Duncan. So this dude is putting Duncan down and putting. If I was Jesse, I would make the dude take the meme down because really, anybody who's got eyes to see and is awake is going to be like, wow, that's just totally wrong. JDO. All right, look, I'm going to show you the meme and then it'll tell you who the so-called hero is, okay? Hold on, I'm gonna upload the meme. It ain't gonna take but 1 second. Kitty, stop fighting. Yeah, and I don't like coming on here ranting about this stuff, but man, it was really bothering me. And then you know, I was what do you call that? Stonewalled when I tried to tell my point of the story and tried to say anything about it. I was stonewalled. So I was like, okay, well, I got my own platform where nobody can stonewall me and I can say what I want. I'm gonna have this in just 1 second. Hi, Lindy. Hi, Fairy of Integrity. I set off the alarm at Walmart. I was leaving, told the manager I have a chip, and he didn't say anything. Right. Well, some targets have chips, some targets, but everybody lights up. Everybody has a biofield. Everybody's going to light up on the RFID scanner and the RF scanner. But I guess I'm fixing to show this thing. I guess it is good though if you've got parents that are kind of skeptical. You can say, "Hey, how?" But to think this thing's going to get shut down, delusion of reprieve. That's the name of it. Look up delusion of reprieve and the history behind that when you get a chance. Okay, uh, I'm fixing to share the screen. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I try to stay in my lane. I don't like coming on here, giving, but I just figured, whether people want to believe it or not, and their reality, just because you can't find Duncan's profile in CIA, DOD, DARPA, whatever, you can't find no real top secret contractor's profile in there. So that's why that's not showing up. Okay, I'm 1 second. I mean, I think and I don't know about y'all guys, but in y'all's opinion, did I make the points I needed to make? And hold on, I will be, let's see. Can y'all see that? Hold on, I'm trying to get back to these comments. Can y'all see that? I'm trying to get back to these comments. Okay, so what is y'all's opinion on this meme right there? I'm just wanting to know y'all's opinion. Did you see the small letters? Get scanned now. Yeah, a person claiming to be Target posted it that, or a person hired by somebody to promote somebody. But hey, JDO, I'll let you know who it was. Right. But anyway, it got me fired up, Jeff, because anyway, look, so let me see. So here's what it said, JDO. Here's the whole thing. It said Dr. Robert Duncan was the perfect honeypot. DARPA CIA ace asset they let run free, screaming voice to skull. No beams, no implants needed. While the real hardware was inside of us. No gag order, no prosecution, pure controlled opposition to keep victims chasing ghosts. False. Gag order. Project Soul Catcher number one. He got threatened with Espionage Act. You'll never find it nowhere. Gag order. Project Soul Catcher 2 had to be put out as a fantasy novel. And if you could tell, anybody who watched, I'll share a lecture in the link if anybody's going to watch it. You could tell he's very careful. Some things he said, "Oh, I can't talk about." He would pause because there were some things he was scared to talk about. But you got to, and then and it says the real hero ripping off the mask, Jesse Beltran. He scanned tens of thousands of TIs, gangstalking victims in Havana cases across America. Every single one lights up, proving the eternal BCI microchips. He has exposed Havana syndrome and anonymous health incidents for exactly what they are. Domestic implantation, not foreign beams. Well, Duncan didn't say it was foreign beams. And it says stop chasing eternal weapons. So he's basically saying the the chip itself is the thing torturing you, and there's no outside. So yeah, they're trying to discredit Duncan, and then the thing that discredits this whole thing is all you got to do is look up Jesse Beltran praised Duncan's work, talked about all the stuff Duncan, and clarified Duncan was real. So this dude don't know what he's talking about. Yeah, and JDO, the thing that made me mad is this thing got 51 reposts, 84 likes, and they're all attacking Duncan. And I don't think that's right. And if I would and you know my opinion on everybody like but if I was Jesse Beltran, being that I did take up for Duncan and I did say Duncan was real and I did say that Duncan uh uh I would be telling that dude to take that post down, you know? Plus Point says, I think they use smart dust or nanotech. And I'm gonna put and then they're like, well, why was he allowed to go to universities and if he was the real deal? Man, use your brain. He was promoting the good side of this technology so people would accept it. And I'm gonna prove that too. And then I'm fixing to get off here. I got stuff to get done around here. I just had to, man, this really upset me. If y'all want to know if y'all want to hear the real good one where I really broke everything down. Go to the live I just did before this. I got interrupted and had to go on a call. Here, I'm putting this in the link. This is a good one to listen to by him. And that's why they were letting him go to universities. Uh, yeah. So anybody who wants to read Project Showcatcher part two, uh, just email me and I will give you the link because there's a certain library I don't want to get shut down. So if there's a perp in here or something, so just email me a little bit. Because if I don't know you, I might not send it. I'm not gonna lie, but I might if uh, because some of these libraries are so extensive. If the wrong person gets wind, their book is on there, and they might get the whole library shut down. So you got to really watch what you give out on over this thing. But JDO said the dude who put that meme up is a clown, maybe even actually a fed. He put a lot of work on it. Yes, he did. And the thing is, JDO, is he tried to say Duncan never talked about neural dust or microchips, and I proved it earlier that he did. So that just proves the dude was just putting stuff out there, man. You know, Fairy of Integrity. She, uh, JDO is talking about the dude who put that meme up there that's saying Robert Duncan's controlled opposition and that Jesse's the hero and all that. And I'm the first to admit, uh, I think if you're wanting to get scanned and maybe take it to court on an individual case and maybe win, maybe it's a big maybe. Um, Maybe prove that you have the beta test syndrome is what I call it because it happened long before Havana. Uh, um, Maybe prove that in court. But everybody's going to light up. So if you're trying to prove you're a target individual before you go get scanned, you better make sure that you got the And nobody wants to be no damn target individual. I know I don't. I mean, sure, I've turned all my bad experiences into lessons and grew wisdom and used it for wisdom and grew wise out of it. And you can do that with your experience. So really, it really advanced me in wisdom, but I had to go through hell and back, and I'm still going through it. So Joe said, "Oh, I found a book that will blow you away. It's about the stuff, and it's all an expensive book to buy, but I found it online. I will email you the link. Yeah, please do that." JDO said that's what's called a Fed posture. Yeah, and what I did was I I messaged this guy, and I messaged this guy, and I said, because what I did was I blocked this guy on X and then unblocked him so he wouldn't be following me. And what's weird is after I'd done that, 2 seconds after I'd done that, he followed me again. So I'd done it again and he hasn't followed me again. But I sent him a message. I said, bro, why are you following me? It's obviously you don't support or like me and you're spreading lies in the community. So I have no need for that type of energy. Jesse even supported Robert Duncan. And for you to say that that man is controlled opposition, that's a heavy label to put on somebody when you don't even know the facts. Also, Duncan wrote Project Soulcatcher 1 and was threatened with Espionage Act if he released it. That's why you'll never find Part 1. If you look at Project Soulcatcher Part 2, look it up on Google. To publish it, he had to publish it as a sci-fi fantasy book. So anyway, then I said, I also teach that nano is used but not needed. However, it's being used in everyone for training, research, and development and better accuracy. And then I said, and then I put, I sent something that says, Project So Robert Duncan explores the alleged weaponization of neuropsychology, nanotechnology, artificial intelligence. It details how advanced, potentially self-assembling nanomaterials and brain-machine interfaces are used to track and manipulate individuals. That's what it's talking about. Project Pro Soul Catcher, Secrets of Cybernetic, Part One. I guess that was Part One because when I looked it up, I don't know if it's Part One or not because I can't find Part One. But maybe it was Part Two. But I don't want to misquote. That's why I'm saying this. But it says Project Soul Catcher, Secrets of Cyber and Cybernetic Warfare revealed by Dr. Anyway, it says it talks about nanomaterials. So basically, I told him he has not read the books because it's obvious he's not read the books. I've read them all, even The Matrix Deciphered. And that library I was going to turn y'all on to, if I trust y'all and you email me, has The Matrix Deciphered. It has How to Tame a Demon and Project Soul Catcher in it. If I'm not mistaken, it's got Matrix Deciphered. I'm going to see. Matrix Deciphered is a very good book to read. It's not one of his most popular known books, but to me, that was one of his best written books. And JDO said David is 100% correct in everything he's stating right now. Thank you. There's a reason they shut Duncan and targets up, and other targets and perps seem to care for opposing reasons. They read our inner dialogue, our inner speech ourselves, and then us know use it to intimidate directed speech. Yes, they do. David, Pulse Point says, Dave, you're putting words to things a lot of people feel, but don't know how to articulate whether folks agree or not. These patterns you're pointing out deserve real conversation. No, The Matrix Deciphered by Robert Duncan. You should be able to find the free PDF. If not, I don't want to give this library out. I don't want it shut down because it's got so much information. So if you can email me and just, I mean, I guess you would have to convince me you're not a perp or tell me, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I'm conflicted because I don't want this to get shut down. It's got a lot more books than what I'm saying in it. And it's a big man, I want to give it to y'all. What do y'all think I should do? What do you think I should do, JDO? Put the link in the thing? Oh, I have that book and I need to get on it. I need to get finished reading it to y'all, and I will do that. I'm still not done reading Project Soul Catcher. I think I'm almost done with that, or How to Tame a Demon. I want to read The Matrix Deciphered because that really brings some light on it. I did get 24/7 feedback on all my thoughts with little noises from the voices tech. It's really annoying. And you know what? I'm going to end it like this. I did not want to bring this to this. I tried to talk to dude to get him to bring it down. That's the only reason I'm on here uh, um, doing this. I'm not the type to come on here and just start up drama, but the guy would not take it down. He would not hear me out. He stonewalled me when I was commenting proof and what I'm commenting now to y'all. And you know, if the guy is a real targeted individual, I pray he comes to his senses and sees that he's wrong about Robert Duncan. He was not a honeypot. He was not a controlled opposition. So I hope he does, you know. And at the end of the day, I can agree to disagree, but if you don't have no proof and you can't back up what you're saying and you're calling somebody a controlled opposition honeypot, I just think that's very damaging to somebody and a very careless thing to do. And that's the only reason I addressed it. All right, I'm fixing to do something real quick and then I'm gone. I got a lot of stuff to do. Okay. Thank you, Lindy. You too. Look at the link. I just shared a link. Have fun. Enjoy that. Paul's point said the stalking is just not to isolate. The end goal is elimination in our own homes. Yeah, in some people's cases it is. However, some people are in. I don't want to get into the other stuff right now. I would start me up again. There's different reasons. We made that alarm go off. But anyway, thank everybody for showing up. Like I said, my intentions were not to. My intentions were because I was stonewalled and wasn't allowed to prove my side and give my research into it because I was stonewalled by this person and shut down. I was just wanting, in case some of my subscribers may have seen that, just to spread the real truth on it. So God bless everybody. Jeff, I will send you. I'm gonna mess or yeah, I'm gonna send you the name. Duncan didn't feel guilty for participating in the development technology being used to harm humanity. But just because he didn't feel guilty don't mean you couldn't learn from him. You got to have an open mind. I know he may not have felt guilty. And I know a lot of people that feel that way, and some of the stuff he said made me feel that way, but that don't mean I'm gonna shut down and not learn from what the guy was talking about. Oh, hollyspunk@gmail.com if you'd like to come on and give your testimony, talk about a subject you're knowledgeable in, or send me any links. But I can't, I'm very leery about if you're going to send links, um, man, I'm leery about opening any links. So I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't because I got a scanner I have to put it through. It takes a long time. So if you want to send me links, send it to targeted testimonies at pm.me because it's easier to scan the links sent. And then sometimes it's still iffy with me because I know how links are and I know what they embed in them links. I'm not saying y'all would do it, but perps can take a link, intercept it, put something in it, and then bam, send it to me, and then I might think you did it, but usually I see through all that kind of psyop. But I'm not saying I won't click links because I do click some links that are sent to me, but I'm very careful. My email is hollylspunk@gmail.com. If you're sending links, it's targeted testimonies at pm.me. And thank everyone. Oh, he said, I wonder if he felt guilty and that's why he spoke out. Well, that was his reason. That's the reason he gave is because he felt guilty. But and you know, some of the stuff he said, regardless if he was a good had, regardless if he was all for killing targets or not, you can still learn from the man. And that's the benefit of remaining teachable and open-minded. because if you shut down from listening to people just because you're biased about how they believe or think, and I'm not saying any of y'all are doing that. I'm just saying you can learn a lot by being unbiased and listening to people, even if you don't like them, and remain teachable in all situations. I don't know everything, and some of y'all send me stuff a lot sometimes that teaches me. So don't think I know everything because I don't know nothing. I'm always learnable and teachable. So anyway, God bless everybody going through this.